What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are back here in my 2006 Nissan 350z, and we're actually headed over to my friend's house right now. And I had an idea. I kind of wanted to put the GoPro on my head and kind of give you guys an idea of what it's like to daily drive a 350z or drive a 350z through town, you know, during pretty peak traffic. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday, so obviously it's not like a Friday afternoon, but you know, it's still pretty busy out here. So we're gonna cruise through, talk about, you know, the experience, how the manual is, if it's clunky, or you know, how the acceleration is, driving around town, street driving basically. And that's basically what we're gonna be testing in this video. So whenever this light turns green, oh, it looks like we've got some, like an FRS or something behind us, which is always cool. If you guys have been following the channel, you know that we just have normal lowering springs on this car. I think they're Morgan Racing lowering springs. So the funny part is, or like the ironic thing is, like I Googled Morgan Racing and it was actually an Amazon brand at the time. The guy that owned the car before me put them on there, and you cannot buy them anymore on Amazon. So I don't know if they just got terrible reviews, but it was probably some, you know, Chinese drop shipping or something. Someone was selling it online, you know, for a quick buck type of thing. But we're gonna beat this guy. See, in my opinion, the nice thing about the Z is like, you're 0 to the speed limit in pretty much exactly as, you know, as fast as you'd want to do it. Any faster than that, you know, it's really easy to draw a lot of attention to yourself. I mean, this is a bright red 350Z with a muffler delete, so we're drawing the attention nonetheless, but you know what I mean. In my opinion, one of the tricks of owning a manual is taking the roads less traveled. So if you live in the Temecula area, you probably know this little cut through. This kind of like is a, you know, it's just a little neighborhood cut through that gets you to the mall basically from kind of like central Temecula area. But you know, I love taking this road because there's not normally many people on here. And of course, it's not like a 45 or 50 like the main road is, but you know, just being able to hold it in third and just kind of cruise through here at like 30 miles an hour, you know, obviously maintaining a low speed. You cannot speed through these places, but you know, it's nice to not have to brake and stop all the time and, you know, put it in neutral and keep going, you know, 1 2 1 2 like all the TikTok videos and stuff suggest. So there is ways around, like, you know, dailying a manual to where it's not terrible. This person's not even gonna stop. I have that on camera, lady. Wow. So kind of like what I was talking about with the transmission. So recently I drove my brother's 2020 Honda Civic Si, and I really honestly have never driven a manual from like, you know, post 2006, I guess. Driving his car was actually really awesome because it's cool to see how transmissions have changed in, you know, 15 years of advancement. It's got a really nice click feel in the Civic, and the clutch pedal is actually really easy to push down. It almost just, it's almost like it's not even, there's nothing pressing against it, which can kind of, you know, make it pretty easy to drive the car if you don't really know how to drive a manual. I don't know if you watched me and Steve race the other day. In that video, I'll put it right here, but he's got a gnarly rev hang. It's about a second in between shifts before the RPMs fall. It definitely takes some time in between shifts, and that's also just for fuel economy and helping, you know, ease of shifting pretty much if you don't, you know, how to drive a manual perfectly. But it can kind of get in the way if you're trying to shift, you know, quickly. This transmission, for being 15 years old, 16 years old almost, I mean, it feels great. You know, the downshifts in this car are, I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. Like, it's smooth. Obviously, it takes some level of, you know, knowing how to finesse the pedals and stuff, but I mean, it's got a good feel to it. And the shifts are really short, you know, it's a nice short throw shift. Kind of going back to the clutch pedal, yes. So kind of going back to the clutch pedal, compared to the Civic, this clutch pedal is actually really like springy. Like, it wants to kick the clutch pedal back into your gut, kind of like it wants to push it back up. And when you're in stop and go traffic, that can be kind of tiring. You know, the Civic is really easy to push down, but in my opinion, it's nothing that you don't get used to, you know? Your body gets used to it. But I actually drove to Arizona this last New Year's, and my car has no cruise control. As you can see, it's the base model. There's no buttons right here. I mean, there was no complaints really. I didn't even really think about cruise control, as ironic as it is. A lot of people, you know, it's kind of like a make or break for them, but I could kind of get it because, you know, that's like a once a year trip. If you're commuting an hour every day, you know, each way, an hour to work and an hour back, I mean, I can imagine how cruise control would be nice, but, you know. Oh, you guys, the C8 Corvette, is that a street hunter? No, it is not a street hunter. TJ would be sad. You guys, he looked over. I was thinking about putting the eyelids back on because they have not been on since we painted it. And I recently did a poll on my Instagram, and it seems a lot of people like the look without the eyelids. They like that clean look. Personally, I always thought that the headlights, just how they are pretty bubbly, or like they're pretty, like, I don't know how to explain it, but they just look really, they're really prominent on the front of the car. And it kind of grows on me over time now that we've had it for so long, but I look at pictures of with the eyelids and it's really aggressive looking. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Should we put the eyelids back on? I would be down. It doesn't have to be permanent. We can put them on for a little bit and see what we think. But yeah, this is one of the worst roads. This is Winchester. So, I mean, the freeway's right there. So I don't know if all 350Zs are like this, but the AC in here works so well. If you were wondering if, you know, how the 350Z AC works, I don't think I've ever talked about it. It is freezing in here. I have to turn it off. Whenever I have my dad in here, my friends, they always tell me to turn it off just because it's so cold. But, you know, I love it, honestly. You know, down here in Southern California, you take any cold air you can get. It doesn't matter how cold it is. Freeway or back road? Freeway, back road, freeway, back road. I have no idea why one lane will stack up and the other lane is empty, and you're like, what? So it's traffic like this, you guys, you know, we're driving a manual, people always say is the worst, and it's kind of true. I mean, I would say 80% of the time this is pushed in just because you're constantly having to, you know, shift it out of gear and then back. I always push the clutch in even if I'm going back to neutral. I don't know if that's like common knowledge, but that's something I do. All right, making some headway. The trick is to driving a manual. You stay in second gear, you stay about 2 car lengths back, and you never have to pull it out of gear, you guys. That is the tip of the day. 13 miles an hour, don't have to drop to first yet. As long as you don't just get up close to them, you never have to pull it out of gear. The only time something bad can happen is if someone just randomly cuts in front of you, which happens because they see a gap and they think it's, you know, made for them. But trick to driving a manual, right here. Stay back a little bit. Be a little bit more patient than everyone else. And it pays off. It really does. Of course. Huge semi-truck. As much as I love being patient, you know, it's kind of hard. Should we do it? I'm gonna do it. Yes. Also, if you're just a person that just cruises in the slow lane, no, stay a while. Like, come on over into the fast lane. Yes. This is where I'm sliding in. Beautiful. Alright, you guys, if you've watched this far into the video, I'm going to let you in on a secret of my 350Z that I've never disclosed ever to anyone. My 5th gear grinds every time I put it into 5th gear, you guys. It's really common. Like, every G35 and every 350Z has this issue, almost. I mean, you find them without the issue, but like, listen. You hear that? So it's not when I'm coming out of gear. It's just when I'm putting it into gear. It's just got, you know, it's just not the smoothest 5th gear entry. So I don't know if I need to change the transmission fluid. Probably need to change the transmission fluid. You're supposed to do it every 60 to 80K miles. And I doubt anyone has ever done it in this car. So it's probably time. We're 83K miles, so we'll do that soon. This is it, you guys. This is cruising in a 350Z through town. You know, you're driving a manual and you never forget. Because, I mean, who wants to forget? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. See how I turned the AC off for that one? Get that extra like 10 horsepower in there. Alright, you guys, I'm probably going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you learned something about daily driving a 350Z, or at least driving one in a, you know, busy traffic hours. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see more videos like this where we just cruise around town and talk and just discuss. Oh my god, that looks like rock chip galore. And just, you know, discuss 350Zs and things about project cars and stuff like that. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't yet, and then please hit the subscribe button. We're about to hit 3,500 and you guys are insane. I would not be able to do this without you, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.